What's up, guys? Nate and Sutton back with another video. What's up, guys? Nate and Sutton back with another video, and today we are answering all of your assumptions about us, reacting to all of the things you think about us. We do this about once a year, and it's that time of year again.
These are some of my favorite videos because it's just so funny to me. Because we all have assumptions about people, and I just love to hear. You never get to hear what people assume about you, but we get the privilege because you guys tell us.
Let's hear what they think.
Nate can get road rage. False.
I'm like the opposite. Actually, no.
Yes. Yesterday, someone pulled out in front of us, and I reach over and I'm honking at them. I'm like, you have to let them know that they just did something wrong. But he's just like, well.
Yeah, I'm pretty low on the road rage scale.
Sutton is always a sweetheart.
She can be sweet, but she's got that little sour to her, too.
I like that assumption. You both were the perfect student child in school. I definitely was.
I was a horrible student. I actually made pretty good grades, but I was like, especially in middle school, I was like, how much trouble can I get in?
I tell him, like, karma's going to come to us because one of our kids might be like that, and it's because of him.
Yeah, I was a bad kid.
I was always teacher's pet, like, helping them grade the papers and, like, wanting them to like me.
I feel like if I was now a student, I would be that way. But I was just a totally different person when I was younger.
Sutton is a mom that likes consistency and routine, where Nate is more free.
I think we're both very consistent and routine-ish.
But if anyone is more free, it's me.
You invest a lot of money in traveling. Not really. I'd like to spend more money on traveling, actually.
You've never had an unanswered prayer. That's not true.
Mm-hmm. Well, we don't know. It might be answered, just not in the present tense.
Yeah, I feel like, it's not answered in our timing, but I think everyone kind of deals with that. But God's timing is better than ours.
Mm-hmm.
Our unanswered prayer right now is, you guys, if you've been following us, we've been looking for a house. We are trying to move out of this house, and it is not happening for us. But I don't consider that unanswered. I just consider it like not yet.
Speaking of, someone else says it's easy for you to always trust God. And I was just talking to Sutton last night about how my trust in God has just strengthened so much over the years. Just because over the years I've been able to see him guiding my life. And like when I thought I wanted something, he said no and like gave me something different. And it's always been for the best. So while I can't say I've always trusted God, my trust in God has grown a lot.
You guys actually aren't happily married. We've been fooling you guys this whole time. We are miserable. Y'all rarely argue. That did not used to be true for us. We used to argue a good bit, I feel like, when we first got married and we're trying to figure out each other and living with each other and stuff. But now I would say it is rare.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
Y'all are both pretty tall.
6'2".
And I'm 5. I don't even know what I am.
You're probably like 5'8".
I don't think so. I think 5'7".
Oh yeah, maybe 5'7".
Y'all don't. Why do I feel like y'all don't like country music? I love country music. That's what I was like. That's what I grew up listening to, but he doesn't really like it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. There's been like individual songs that I like, but overall, I'm not a huge fan.
Nate is a gentle dad whose first choice of fun is usually not by roughhousing.
What would you say about that? I feel like I can be pretty rough with them.
Yeah, I wouldn't say roughhousing like wrestling type things, but he likes to throw them around and like pick them up and spin them and all these things. And I'm like, will you be careful? But they love it, so it's not like too rough. Nate thought Sutton was out of his league. Did you?
Nate thought Sutton was out of his league. No.
You didn't.
I mean, I thought you were great, but I thought like, I'm going to get this one. I didn't think like you weren't going to like me. I thought you might like me.
I thought that.
You thought what?
That you were out of mine.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
Like you're too good for me. Or like you wouldn't like me. I guess not too good, because I didn't necessarily think he was too good, but I didn't think he would like me. Too good makes it like a goodie, like you're, It's hard to explain. I thought you were a player. That's what I thought. So I wouldn't say you were too good. I just thought like you wouldn't like me because maybe I was too good.
Innocent?
Yeah.
No, that's what I liked about you. We're getting a lot of financial things. I could answer one of those. You're financially very well off and have no problems. This is actually something that I've been talking to Sutton about lately, is that I think one of the best things that we ever did financially was saving from the very beginning that we got married. We've always lived like well below our means, meaning like if we can afford this, we only spend this. And it's allowed us to invest a lot, which I think is going to set us up really well for our future. So that would be one of my biggest financial pieces of advice for anyone younger or our age, is to spend a lot less than you make.
We're also not big spenders in general, so it's not really that hard. Like, it's not like we're like, ooh, I wish I could have this, and we don't get it. We just don't really spend a lot of money naturally.
But recently we almost started building a house that would have stretched us very far. And then we decided not to because of that reason. I said, Sutton, if we build this house, this is still a sensitive topic, so
this was like last week.
Yeah, you guys are getting in on it. I said, Sutton, if we build this house, we're going to be like not able to save, really. So we'll be like spending all of our money, which is not smart. So we decided not to. Sounds like a simple decision, but she cried about it.
I was invested in my soul into this house, and then it didn't happen. But I know something will come along. I guess I'm just getting impatient, but it will happen eventually. You never drink cocktails. This is just funny because the other night, this was like 2 nights ago, Nathaniel was like, where can I get wine? Like, where's a wine store around here? I was like, I don't know. Is that really what you're trying to do? Because I really cannot think of a time in our 6 years of marriage that he has ever bought a bottle of wine, let alone left our house randomly to go get wine, ever. Like, it was the weirdest thing. And I was like, are you sure that's what you're doing? I feel like you're lying. And like, maybe he's going to go get us ice cream or something. But he comes in with his bottle of wine.
Yeah, I actually prefer cocktails over just about any alcoholic beverage.
You do?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you never drink them?
I know. I never really have the opportunity to. But I really don't drink that often.
I don't drink at all. Especially, I'm pregnant, but
yeah.
I also don't drink at all anyways. Your sex life is better than ever. Yes! This is so funny because it's like the worse than ever.
You want to be talking about this?
Well, it's an assumption.
And why?
Well, I guess it could be worse. Like, after you have a baby, you don't have sex at all for 6 weeks, but it's just been rough. This time of pregnancy, just being so big and my back hurting so bad and everything hurting, it's just not comfortable. And if anything does happen, I'll just speak very broadly. If anything does happen, it like gives me contractions.
Anything does happen.
And it doesn't feel good. So we'll just leave it at that. It just doesn't, it's just... We're just struggling, but we will come out on the other side,
For those of you that haven't seen it, I created a reel on our Instagram explaining it all. Just go watch that.
Nathaniel is more sensitive and Sutton is more of the bold one. Yes.
You think I'm more sensitive?
Yes. Do you?
I don't know if I'm more sensitive, but I just don't like certain things. You know, like you'll be like...
He is.
Sutton will be like, would you shut up, you brat?
I do not.
And I'm like, don't talk to me like that.
I do not say that. It's your way or no way. You don't like advice from others.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true. The Bible tells us that the wise listen to the counsel of others or something like that.
The wise seek counsel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very open to critique and changing.
I will say I don't like when it's the delivery If it's delivered in a wrong way, then I don't like it. But if you can deliver it right, I'm very open to
sensitive
to advice.
a lot of stuff on homeschool.
Oh yeah, if we're gonna homeschool our kids.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of homeschool our kids assumptions, and I think we do plan on homeschooling our kids eventually. Maybe in the beginning, sending them to some kind of advanced school like the one that Oakland's in right now. Yeah, I think eventually we're going to homeschool our kids because I believe that school is one of the best places to not learn.
He is passionate about this subject. Don't even get him started.
Yeah, long story short, I just think kids, I am a huge believer in education, and I want our kids to be as intelligent and as smart as possible. But the amount of nonsense that we learn in school is absurd. To think out of my years from middle school to high school, and I like giving anyone this challenge, can you name 5 things that you learned in your years from middle school to high school that you use in your day-to-day life or ever?
Yeah, I view school, I think through 5th grade is important. You're learning the basics, reading and writing and simple math and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, like 6th grade to graduating high school, I feel like it's more of just childcare and you're exercising your brain while you're there.
But to learn nothing.
Yeah, you could be learning more valuable things. Like I left high school having no idea how to write a check. That's something I should have learned. I had no idea how to address an envelope. Like these dumb things that are just like, these are life things that
but you learned,
would have taken them 5 seconds to teach it to me.
You learned the elements of the periodic table, and you learned about Greek mythology, the study of things that don't exist. And you learned about algebra and formulas. The stupidest crap I have ever heard. It is unbelievable. I just don't know how they have sold parents into going along with this.
Because of childcare, because they want someone to keep their kids.
But to waste my kids' brains on the school system, no, we're not doing that.
Simmer down.
I can't wait for our kids to actually learn things that they can apply in their everyday life.
Something that we want to do is like homeschool them and have someone that's not us, like find a carpenter that they follow around for a month and then like a cook or something, like life things that will help them and they can learn it from somebody else. That way we're not always the whatever, like teacher figure or whatever. They can have other people in their lives, and if there's such thing as like a class like that would be great. Like that they could be a part of with other kids. Yeah,
and genuine question. Now that I've gotten all my anger out, do you guys have 5 things that you can that you can list off that you learned from anywhere from 6th grade to 12th grade? Like just 5 things. I'm just asking, can you list 5 things that you learned in middle school or high school that you can apply in your life? I've asked that question to quite a few people and no one's been able to give me the answer. But maybe if you think long and hard enough, you can figure it out. But I know I can't.
I hate saying this because I don't want to sound rude, but you guys maybe don't get any vaccines, not COVID related. That's true. I've never been vaccinated for the flu. We did not get the COVID vaccine. We are not vaccinating our new baby. We only vaccinated Halston for like a couple months before we gave up on that.
This is an area that I'm not as strongly opinionated about. I really don't know the whole vaccine thing. Like, we were vaccinated as kids and we're fine. Most everyone that we know was vaccinated as kids and they're fine. But we have lost trust in the vaccination system.
Since COVID. Because we were doing it up until that point. And then that happened and we were like, okay, now we're questioning it. And we know everyone has their own opinion and that's fine. Keep it to yourself. We're just answering the question. But that's what we think and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, and I've done a lot of research and studying on this topic and I really can't, I haven't come to a very clear conclusion, but I just, like we said, I lost trust in the system after COVID, and unfortunately, I just don't trust what they're putting in vaccines and what they're putting in our babies. So that's how we're doing it for now. We might change our mind.
Sutton had some sort of surgery on her forehead to make it not wrinkle.
Whoa. She had Botox to the max.
That's the best assumption I've ever heard.
She's like obsessively thinking that she has wrinkles on her forehead and she doesn't.
I'm not obsessive about it, but I do look at old pictures of myself and I'm like, wow, I used to have no wrinkles. And then after kids, all the collagen gets sucked out of your skin and then you start to get them. And I don't have Botox. They're going to believe you.
Yeah, she tells me probably once a month that she's just going to fall behind everybody because everyone gets Botox and she's all wrinkly. And first of all, that's not true. Secondly, I personally do not like the Botox look. I mean, I think, I like the natural look.
Yeah, I haven't gotten Botox. I do a lot of skincare routine stuff. I'm trying to be preventative, but I did see something else on here. I had lost it, but someone was asking, do I get that or would I get that or am I against it or something? I'm not against it. Like, of whoever does it, that's fine if you want to do it. I know almost everyone I know does it, honestly. But I just probably am not going to give in to that because I just feel like for me, it would be feeding into like this vanity side of me about caring too much about what I look like. And like, we're meant to get wrinkles, we're meant to age. I am getting older. I'm meant to have wrinkles. So I just got to embrace it. But that made me feel very good that you think that I don't have any. If you watch our last video, the one I did 24 hours as a mom of 2 toddlers, that one, I did not really like filming that because it was always, first of all, I was on a phone. It's like always close to my face. And I just felt like you could see everything, but whatever. I got to let go of that stuff.
Gotta let it go. Let it go.
But social media just lies to you and everyone just looks so perfect on there. So I guess it's a good thing that I'm putting it out there that I don't look perfect and that's okay.
Nate has
no shoe game. That's so true.
You think? I wear Bilts.
Shoe.
Yeah, Bilt. Oh, that's not even the name of the shoe. Brooks.
Point proven. And if you didn't hear what we said, the thing is Nate has no shoe game. That's what it says. And he doesn't. He has how many pairs of shoes did you say he had? He has 2 pairs of tennis shoes and a pair he wears at church and then boots and that's it. Shoes is just not your thing. Not something you really care about.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing, I don't think.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that guys are into that apparently I'm just completely... It's like I missed guy school or something.
Well, you're probably happy about it since you hate school so much.
Yeah. I guess I skipped out on that class. I find myself in groups of guys that they're talking about golf and sports and off-roading and Jeeps. They all united together one day and decided they were going to be passionate about these things. And I'm like, where did I miss this? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I've never played a game of golf. I've never been off-roading. I don't know any of these athletes that you're talking about. And I'm okay with it.
You guys have really white teeth, but they're full of cavities.
I do have to get a root canal, stinking eye.
That's why I wanted to say that one, is because he just found out he has to get a root canal.
But apparently that's from long years ago of rotten.
But do you have cavities?
Not any current cavities, no. I had horrible dental hygiene when I was a kid. I wish they would have taught me that in school. But now I've learned that through the school of life. And should I talk more about school?
No. I don't think I've had a cavity. First of all, I think I maybe have only had one in my life, and it was when I was little. I take good care of my teeth.
Yeah.
But it's important. You only get one set. You got to take care of them. Not sure if this counts, but is Nate's brother friends with J.P. Sears?
Not only is Nate's brother friends with J.P. Sears, Nate is friends with J.P. Sears. He actually came to my wedding. That guy's
Your wedding?
Yeah, that guy's a character. That guy's a character.
We filmed his wedding, actually.
We filmed his wedding. You spank your kids. All right, let's start getting on the controversial topics. This is what everybody wants to hear anyways. Spanking our kids. So this is something I think we disagree on a little bit. I'm still trying to figure out the whole disciplining thing with our kids, but I think in general, parents, and especially in today's age, are too sensitive with their kids. They're like, let's don't upset little Johnny boy while he's over there like stabbing you. No.
Yeah, what I think you do like an escalation type of thing to where first you try and talk to them, you try and calm them down, you try the gentle route. If that doesn't work, then they go to timeout. If that doesn't work, then they get a spanking. And the way that we spank, we try not to use our hands because you don't want to associate you with like pain. But I feel like it hurts their feelings more than it hurts them. Like, I'm not spanking them hard at all. But I was spanked when I was growing up. And what I highly recommend if you are a parent that you choose to spank is that if your kids are old enough, I would say probably 4 or 5 and up. What my parents did to us that I thought was just so great is that you say, if they do something wrong, you say, go up to your room and think about what you did, and I'm going to be up there in 5 minutes to give you a spanking. That way, you're not hitting them out of anger. You have time to calm down. They have time to think about what they did. They know they did something wrong. And I'm telling you that wait, when you're sitting in that room waiting for your dad or mom to come in there and spank you, is way worse than the actual spanking. I do not believe in spanking a kid more than once. Like, the first spank is for them. Anything beyond that is for you, and you should not be doing that.
So, yeah, this is a thing that me and Sutton have been dealing with lately with our kids is how to discipline them. And yeah, like Sutton said, I think giving them chances before you start getting physical is the way to go. So we'll tell them, all right, you gotta stop. And if they don't stop, then I say, okay, if you don't stop right now, I'm gonna spank you.
But, big but, you have to follow through. Don't say, I'm going to spank you, and then they do it again. You're like, if you do it again, I'm going to spank you, and they do it again. If you do it again, like, no. If you say, I'm going to spank you, if you do it one more time, you do it.
Yeah.
Because you want them to believe you. You don't want to be warning them over and over.
And we've been spanking them with a spoon. We don't do it very often. I would say on average, like once a week or something. You think, or more?
Probably less.
Oakland really hardly ever needs to spank into Halston. But anyway, so we've been doing a tip for restaurants too, for the young parents out there who your kids misbehave in restaurants. I feel like this has really been working well for us.
We could do a whole video on this.
Yeah, there's no warning. It's just, oh, you misbehaved? All right, we're going to the car right now. And you don't get them and hold them and let them walk around and take them to the toys if you're at Cracker Barrel. You take them to the car. This is what I do, is I stand behind the car so he doesn't think I'm there. So I want him to feel isolated and in emotional pain. I'm so tired of holding back on YouTube. I feel like there's so many things I want to say just for the sake of it.
But don't worry, you guys. I'm here to protect them. He's just extreme in the way he talks about it, but he's really not like this in real life. But yeah, that was something else my parents did to me, is they would take me out of the restaurant, buckle me in my car seat, shut the door, and stand at the back of the car so I couldn't see them. And it's just like timeout, And then you wait, the minutes of how old they are. It's like, Halston, you give them a minute, and then or 2 minutes, now at least 2. And then you go open the door and you're like, all right, are you ready to go back in and be with everyone? And he's usually like, yeah. And then we go back in and he's perfect. Like, he acts perfect because he doesn't want to go back out to the car. But if we were playing that game with him, which we used to do, is like he would whine and we're like, hey, here, have this and let's get up and try on all these things. He acts bad the entire time. But if you just nip it and he knows if I do this, that he's going to take me to the car to be by myself and I don't want to be by myself, then he acts better.
All right. So that was interesting. All right, guys, that was Nate and Sutton sowing seeds of truth, love, and inspiration one view at a time.
And that was us responding to your assumptions about us.